Cuba, it's me, episode 213 of The Willow Show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now, today I wanted to say on the show, it's time for us to put our egos aside and become fans again. Instead of being wrestlers and always having to feel like you're above everyone else and whatnot, why don't we just make someone else's day and show them that we support them? So, in the circle you're in, if you're an Ontario wrestler, what about the Ontario guys? If you're a BC wrestler, what about the BC guys? Who is someone that maybe we haven't said it to them, or we just let our pride get in the way, that maybe we're fans of, or maybe we think doesn't get enough credit than they deserve, or is someone you would like to wrestle because you feel like you could have a good match against them? I know personally in Ontario, I don't go to that many shows. I do the PWA ones. I've been doing the last two Hagerzo ones. I did a show recently in Port Colborne. But, it's hard because I don't get to see, there's so many promotions and federations. I don't get to see a lot of the guys. So it's hard for me to really say. I know there's a few guys that I really like. But also, why can't we brag away a little bit? I did an episode on this. Go ahead and brag. Take your credit that you deserve. So on this episode, for the viewer comments, I want you to, whether you're a wrestler, a referee, a manager, a promoter, or a fan, I want you to say something nice about yourself. Give yourself a compliment. It's okay to brag once in a while, as long as you don't overdo it. So say something nice about yourself, and then say something nice about someone that you don't feel hears it enough, or you think that could make their day, or that they may not expect it coming from you. Like for me, my compliment to myself is, I've done 213 days in a row of The Willow Show, and it does get a few comments here and there on Facebook, but I don't think it gets enough credit. I talk about a bunch of stuff, and for the young wrestlers, there's so many episodes you could go back and learn a lot from. I'm not saying I know everything, but I know what not to do, and I've made a lot of mistakes, and I think you could learn from my mistakes. I've done a bunch of episodes. Go ahead and go through and check them out. So I'm giving credit to myself for doing this. And you know what? I should. But let's talk about some of the people that don't get a lot of credit. There's a lot of wrestlers out there that they maybe they don't look the part, or maybe they only wrestle once a month, and maybe you don't get to see them because they're only in one specific promotion or whatnot. And a lot of them are doing good things, but it's hard to tell if you don't see them, and nobody has time to go and watch every single YouTube match posted on social media and whatnot, or any of the fan footage from the shows. Like every Monday or Sunday you wake up and there's all these shows that take place on the weekend, and everyone releases them on YouTube or on Facebook, free matches, or here's a clip of my match. And you know what? I'd love to watch them all, and maybe I should. Maybe I'd be a better reporter on The Willow Show. Maybe I should. I definitely should. I just don't have that much time, but I gotta start making the most of the time that I do have. But not very many people have enough time to watch all the matches, but maybe we should. And I would like to be kind of like a reporter and like in my earlier episodes, I was putting all over the promotions of what shows were coming up on the weekend. And I just stopped doing it because I didn't know much about them, and I don't feel like I was helping. Nobody was watching my show, and no one was going to any of the shows I was promoting because of my show. So I felt like, yeah, it felt good in my heart to do it, but it was like, it wasn't helping anybody. So I came up with a whole bunch of other concepts, so I just started doing with that, and then one thing led to another, and I couldn't be consistent. I couldn't do it every single weekend. Sometimes I have to tape 2 shows in one day because I'm going to be going out on Friday night, so I have to tape it in the morning before, and some stuff like that. But there's a lot of great wrestlers out there that I don't feel get enough credit. But like I said, it's hard for me because I really have not got to see a lot of them that are coming up. But one person for sure is Rex Atkins. He really understands his business. He sees it from all points of view, from markability to working the crowd to working the cameras, and just being a true professional. And I feel like sometimes he does what we're supposed to do. Everyone says, go get as much work as you can. So he goes on these long tours, but no one sees his matches. But he does more matches than anybody else because he's doing them every day, sometimes twice, 3 times a day, instead of just doing the weekend shows. Like even the best wrestlers in Ontario are, you know, they're booked every single weekend, 2 or 3 times. But like if you're on a tour and you're wrestling, you could be wrestling up to 20 times a week. So I feel he doesn't get enough credit because he's not always in Ontario, so we lose sight of it. But he's one of us. He started wrestling in Ontario, but I just feel he really has a good mind for the business, and I'm a big fan of him. Another person is Jimmy King. Um, he's been doing a lot of PWA shows. He does some other ones down in like Port Colborne and St. Catharines and whatnot. And man, not only is he just a really good person, like everything he does is precise. He's technically very sound, and he looks the part. He keeps in great shape. I just feel like he doesn't get enough credit too. And there's a lot of refs out there. I mean, Old School, I don't feel gets enough credit. Harry D doesn't get enough credit as far as I'm concerned. And I mean, there's so many people. I could go on and on. I recently met that Brett Michael David, and I was on 2 shows with him a couple weekends ago at Hagersville and Port Colborne. And for a young guy, this guy really has something. He's got like the look down. He's got his fundamentals. He was obviously trained right by the Hamilton Pro Wrestling Academy. He just seems to get it more than a lot of people that start out seem to get it. And he's very personable. Like a lot of the times I go to the shows and there's new wrestlers there, and they don't meet me or shake my hand, but he was like so polite to me and nice when I talked to him, and just a generally funny guy. And he can do a lot of stuff. Like I seen him doing a 450. And he looks like he could do either face or heel. So I'm totally jumping on the bandwagon of him. I think he could go far for sure. There's just a lot of guys that get under the radar and that people maybe don't get a chance to see. But I mean, and then some of the, like I don't want to toot the horns of the guys that already get it tooted, like, because they get it enough. And, you know, so if you're like, why didn't you say me? Well, it's probably because you get enough recognition as it is. And props to you. I'm a supporter of everyone, and it's really hard. I'm just trying to think of a lot of people that don't get the recognition they deserve. And maybe I should have pre-planned this. I'm just winging it off the top of my head. Like I said, I need to either go to more shows or research them more, and I think that way I could have some better answers for you. And I apologize. That's the thing about being a single father to a cameraman. You don't always have time to prepare these shows. You just like, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about, and you go and you do it. It's improv a little bit, but there's a bunch of guys out there, and I'm sure I missed tons of them. I'm sorry. I met that Kairuga, I don't know if I'm saying it right, in Hagersville, and man, he has a really good look, and he's very humble and very nice and approachable, and he could do big things as well. He looks like he looks like a wrestler for sure, and he's different. That's what I like about him, and he's got good size, and see, I never got to see how he was in his matches, so I could be saying something a little bit too early, but people will always improve, but he just seems like he has what it takes to definitely go far in this business. There's so many others, but I'm hoping that the viewers will do my work for me since I didn't do my homework, and maybe they'll say some people that maybe don't get enough recognition, because there's a lot of them. And I just think it'd be nice for once in a while, like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. People don't do that enough. I find if you're in the same fed, excuse me, I find if you're like in the same promotion or someone, or if you're going to be working with someone, then you're like always liking their stuff on social media and you're friends with them. But like if you're not in the same promotion, it's like, oh, I don't want to say anything nice about them. Their competition. Well, you know what? I don't see any competition. Like to me, yes, sometimes there is and like where you have different promotions in one town and stuff, but most of the times I find people are respectful. They try not to run on the same days. We're all family. I mean, there's obviously 1 or 2 people that are bad eggs in the bunch, but most people want the best for all of wrestling in Ontario. And like, to me, I know of another guy, from the Swole Patrol, I don't even know his wrestling name, but man, the new guy, the guy that won the Scott Demore seminar, I'm really good friends with him, I feel, too. Like, we get along great at the shows. I always see him. I know his real name on Facebook, and I wrestled against him too. People know who I'm talking about. He won the BCW seminar from Scott D'Amore, and he got to go on their show. Man, that guy's got a good look, and he seems to really get the business. Well, please help me out. I feel like an idiot now. I shouldn't even mention someone if I can't remember their wrestling name. But anyways, so let me have it. Help me out here. Say one nice thing about yourself, and then say one nice thing about someone else that you maybe feel doesn't get the recognition they deserve. Because as always, on the W.I.L.L.I.W show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!